This is The Download from Sounds Profitable, your daily source for the essential news in the business of podcasting, brought to you by Spreaker from iHeart. I'm Gavin Gaddis, in for Tom Webster. Here's what you need to know for today, Wednesday, May 1st. Up first, CityCast finds traction in radio model. As the name suggests, CityCast produces daily podcasts and newsletters for news and cultural happenings in each of the 11 cities it currently serves. As our founder, Brian Barletta, points out, CityCast has been insulated from broader advertising headwinds in podcasting by its nascency, patient backing, and a focus on local advertising. A podcast and newsletter combo specifically focusing on a metropolitan area can offer direct access and a unique value proposition to local businesses that might not feel like they're getting similar service from other mediums. Next up, Podcast Pulse India Report. The new report on podcasting in India is built from both quantitative, which would be specifically surveys of 2,170 people across 10 cities, and qualitative data, the qualitative data being digital diaries from 100 listeners who consume podcasts at least weekly for at least 3 months. Key findings include podcasting's room to grow in the country, as 82% of quantitative respondents were unaware of podcasts. 78% of podcast consumers in India started listening to podcasts less than a year ago, with only 22% of respondents having started over a year ago. Back in the US, podcast advertising benchmarks for Q1 2024, new from Magellan AI's analysis of over 109,000 episodes of popular podcasts in Q1 of this year. Podcast ad spend is up 39% year over year. 6 of the top 10 spenders in Q1 were also in the top 10 of Q4 2023, and 1,488 new brands have started advertising and podcasting for the first time since January. The share of 30-second ad spots grew 42% this past quarter. Up next, how to measure success for an influencer marketing campaign. A guide on what influencer marketing is and how to track it. One of the larger challenges unique to the field is the fact that tracking is trickier than paid social campaigns. A/B tests are unreliable at best due to the variability of an influencer's reach. That said, influencer marketing allows brands to connect with target audiences in authentic ways, just with the added requirement of a careful strategic approach that blends awareness, conversion metrics, and accounts for the fact that influencer campaigns are less trackable. And finally, with YouTube booming, podcast creators get camera ready. A look into how Exactly Right Media, producers of shows like My Favorite Murder and This Podcast Will Kill You, has effectively built a soundstage for their video podcasts, bringing for everything from lighting trusses to soundproofing. Several chart toppers either have always had a video component or incorporated one as video podcasting has risen in popularity, and several established names are writing checks to build out production spaces for video content. While video podcasting will continue to grow in popularity, it's worth cautioning the podcasting world against a potential sequel to the infamous pivot to video that rocked other mediums in the mid-2010s. As for the rest of the news, the first day of Podcast Show London will feature a conversation between actor James Corden and SiriusXM CCO Scott Greenstein. AdsWiz head of global marketing Justine Ortiz-Benjamin interviews members of her team about what it means to be a person of color in the digital audio advertising industry. Adweek covers the growth of Amazon's advertising unit, which includes Art19 and Wondery. Ad Age covers Amy Poehler's keynote at Podcast Movement Evolutions, and Digiday senior media editor Tim Peterson has upgraded his usual bite-sized ad tech explainer videos into 20-minute breakdowns of the TV industry. Episode 3 takes a look at the future of connected TV, or CTV. Be sure to check out all the links to every article mentioned right in your podcast listening app or at soundsprofitable.com, where you can also subscribe to the newsletter version. The Download is written and produced by Brian Barletta, myself, and Tom Webster. For Sounds Profitable, I'm Gavin Gaddis. Download us tomorrow.